The owner said that the problem was with it flooding over and it's sputtering at low RPM, so blah 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 blah, and it'd foul spark plugs. It sounded like similar to the previous KTM with the Lectron. The needle and seat was sticking open. I don't know, from being dirty, or it's just the design that they have. It just sometimes sticks and floods the engine out. So we're gonna test ride it. Then I'll probably end up pulling the Lectron Carb off, cleaning it, making sure everything looks good in there, and then getting it tuned so it starts easy and runs crisp. Since he had the spark plug loose, figured might as well take it out and check it. Looks to be still fairly new, but the tip or the electrode is kind of oily, so we'll keep an eye on that after testing it. One thing that I noticed already when putting the spark plug on, or tightening it I should say, I noticed sometimes that owners, when they install the spark plug, they don't get it tight properly. Now I know it is a problem that over tightening it will strip out the threads and that ruins the cylinder head, or you have to get it repaired. But when installing a new spark plug only, you have to know that washer has to be crushed the first time. So when you're installing a new spark plug, when you tighten it up and it starts to get a little bit tight, you got to keep going a little bit more. There will be a reasonable amount of resistance, but you have to go roughly quarter to half a turn, and then it'll start to get noticeably tighter and harder, and that is when you're supposed to stop. And what that is doing is crushing that washer to get a proper seal on it, and you only have to do that the first time when installing a new spark plug. Once you take it out and then put it back in, that washer is already crushed and you don't have that little bit of tension before it gets tight. Now I did get the original factory Kian PWK Air Striker carb with it, which he said it would leak out gas when he tipped it over on the kickstand, which is likely a float level problem. But he wanted, he put this Lectron on there used, must be lightly used, because he wanted to get better fuel range as well as the auto compensating air fuel mixture for when he goes out to Colorado. So we're gonna see what needs to be adjusted or cleaned on this. Got the fuel, let's mix up the gas a little bit first. Turn the fuel valve on, pull the choke up, and let's check. So you can see the float level right here. It says level here, and you got two lines, the minimum and maximum. So here's with the bike level. You should always check it when the bike is level. And since this carb is kind of angled down, it's a little bit hard to tell. Right here, it's kind of in between the lines, kind of towards the high end, so it might be close. Let's start it up and see. Okay. Maybe it doesn't need choke since it died right away. Let's turn the choke off and see. Ooh. Yeah, just from that not wanting to idle with the choke right away and starting easier without the choke, that tells me that it's too rich. Either the float level is too high or the metering rod needs to be adjusted, because that's what controls idle to roughly half throttle on this Lectron Bilotron carb. All right, yep, this is tall too. And I did check the radiator coolant. It was topped off, nice soft hydraulic clutch pull. So let's ride it around and let it warm up. It's pretty smoky. Ooh, I can smell that castor oil. He said he put in he was running liquid moly 2-stroke oil 50-to-1, but then he started to mix in 927 castor oil because he ran out. not knowing what the oils do, just know that the 927 castor oil, it's a great oil for racing at high RPM, high heat applications. But the owner said that he's just a casual trail rider and typically rides at low to mid-range RPM, which is where I ride too. So a racing oil like that, it's not going to burn as well. So it's going to be a lot smokier. It's going to cause the top end and exhaust, the muffler, the silencer packing, and spark arrestor screen to clog up more easily. And the engine is going to load up more easily. Okay, engine's starting to warm up. And you can hear that it's rich on the top end. See, I revved it out, and you can hear it sputtering on the top end. With the Lectron, for that full throttle, holding it wide open, you need to adjust the power jet. You might need to get a screwdriver, forgot to grab one. Quarter turn, oh shoot, need to go in on the power jet. We'll go quarter turn in, go leaner. So we'll go third gear. That's way too rich still. Alright, we'll go quarter, half turn in, which is quite a bit on the power jet. Still rich, sputtering. Let me go grab a screwdriver. Alright, yeah, I got it right. So backing it out counterclockwise opens it up for more fuel, turning it in clockwise leans it out. So we want to go another half a turn leaner. Let's try that. Now obviously we need to get the metering rod adjusted properly, which you should actually do first. So I'm kind of doing this backwards, but I just want to make sure that I can get the power jet dialed before pulling the metering rod out, because it takes a little bit more time. It felt like it has more power, but it's still a little bit rich on the top end. Another half a turn in. Yeah, it's pretty close now. I'd say maybe another half turn will be good. Another half a turn in. And when I do adjust the metering rod to go leaner, I'll also have to readjust the power jet to go richer. So when you adjust the metering rod on these Lectrons, it also affects the power jet. Meaning when you adjust one, you're gonna have to adjust both. Because if I go leaner on the metering rod and the power jet was good, it'll now be too lean. Oh yeah, yep. That runs out good now. All right, now that we know that it can run good as is, I'm gonna pull this carb off. I think I'm gonna put in my ultrasonic cleaner, just check everything out, maybe adjust the float height a little bit, and then we'll get it put back on and have some time to adjust the metering rod, get that dialed in, and then yeah, this thing should run sweet by the time we're done. Before I put this back on the bike, I want to check the float level, so I'll hook it up to the fuel line, and I want to do that now because I can hold it level, whereas if it's on the bike, it's angled down, so it's kind of hard to tell if it's between the minimum and the maximum. So we'll just put the fuel line on here, and then turn the fuel on. So it looks like it stopped right at the maximum line. So technically it's within spec, but I like to get that closer to the middle. So we're gonna drain this back out and adjust that float height. I just noticed on this Lectron Billetron, the top cap to remove the throttle slide and metering rod, I like this upgraded option. Even though it's the same model as the one I was working on a few weeks ago, it has the, I'm guessing, upgraded top cap screws that you don't even need a tool. You can use an Allen wrench, but with this knurled round part, it's easy enough to remove and install with your fingers. So no tools. That's nice. Alright, got the float height adjusted, and it's pretty close to the middle now. Maybe slightly low, but it's definitely better, so let's go try it out. Alright, back out here with the float height lowered and the Lectron Carb cleaned, and the ultrasonic cleaner. And symptoms are pretty much the same. Started pretty easy without the choke. Cold, or mostly cold after sitting for a couple hours. I reset the power jet. I backed it out just in case it'd be too lean. It's at 5 turns out, and it's a little bit rich still. It seems to be running pretty good. Raise the idle up just a little bit. You know, I'm just gonna do the metering rod first, see if it's too rich. And look at how easy this is to loosen that up. I already got that off. That took me like at least 2 minutes before with the Allen heads. Although the Beta does have more room here, so I don't even think I'm gonna need to spin. Nope, don't even need to spin the carb on there. So this is super easy. I'm gonna lean this out, so turn it counterclockwise 1 full turn. I got that adjusted. Metering rod length was 2-inch 123. Now it's about 2-inch 149 or 50. Let's see how it starts and idles differently. It should idle a little bit higher because it's leaner. And yeah, it is idling higher. That makes sense. Turn the idle down just a hair. Maybe a tiny bit too low. Okay, so it's still too rich on the top end. It sounds a little bit healthier on the bottom end. Didn't sound like there was a lean bog when whacking the throttle, so that's good. I think then I'm gonna go even leaner on the metering rod. But this might be where we end up. We'll go leaner and see if it's too lean. Alright, we went another full turn leaner on the metering rod, and I think it's a little bit too lean now. Yep. Starting to bog when you whack open the throttle. So we're gonna go half a turn richer and see if it cleans that up. Well, I went half a turn richer, now it seems to be even worse. So we're gonna go richer again. Half a turn richer on the metering rod. I think the length is back to that 2-inch 145, 147-ish. So got the idle adjusted. Now it's rich on the top end still, so we're gonna go in half a turn, lean out that power jet, see if it cleans up that blubber sputtering when you hold it open. Nope, not yet. Idle's a little bit low. Okay, we're gonna go half a turn leaner. Still too rich on the top end. We'll go another half a turn. I think we're at 4 turns out now. So let's go to 3.5, which is I think where we were before doing everything. The first time we adjusted it. So half a turn in to go leaner. That sounds a lot better. Let's do a quick width test. Getting a little tight in here. Had a lot of rain and wind. Not sure if trees are down in this section. just a touch rich still. We're gonna lean it out, quarter turn. Brisk throttle response. Yeah, I'd say that runs pretty good now. Nice and crisp. Nice second gear. It has pretty good low end, not quite a 300, but it's what I'd expect. It's pretty much similar to other 250s. I don't think it has quite as much top end peak power as like my friend's KTM 250 XCW, but I think it makes up for it in the low end mid range. In my full jetting course, I'm going to be adding a lesson on how to properly tune a Lectron carburetor in addition to the standard Kian, Mikuni, or any two-stroke carb that you have on a dirt bike. But if you just want to get started for free, I have a free air screw or fuel screw tuning guide, which you can learn how to do in just a few minutes, whether you have a two-stroke or a four-stroke. The links to those are in the description below. I'm Kelly Fagan from MX Hideout. Ride safe, have fun.